Welcome to a Fifth of Jack Gaming, and today we're going to open up 2 packs of Jumpstart. We're going to jump right into the video and see what we get. So something big about Jumpstart is that you need to just grab 2 packs and you'll end up being able to have a deck to be able to shuffle up and play. So this is going to be a video showing what deck we would get if we bought these 2 packs. So Jumpstart is one of those games that can bring everyone over to the thing. You could be a novice that's just learning how to play, or you could be a veteran that's the most seasoned about it. Jumpstart has a deck that you will be able, or cards out there that you will be able to play. Looks like the first one's going to be +1 mono green. So let's see what's in this +1 set. All the packs are going to be a little bit different. There's multiple different types of things. So since we have a +1, we may end up opening up another one, but it'll be totally different than what we have. So we're going to start off with 8 basic lands. Woo, fire. Something that's unique with this Jumpstart is each pack has its own special land, though. This is the special land for this one. What did you think of that? Then let's work ourselves up here. We have a Beetle. It costs us 2 and a green for an elemental. Enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters. We can pay 1 and a green to remove a +1 counter from it. And a target player searches their library for a basic land, puts it on the battlefield tap, and then shuffles their library. The base power for Beetle is a 0/0. So that means we take a counter off it, we get to put a land into play. Or, if we want to be nice, we could let someone else do it. Could be a little bit group fun stuff with it. Next card is Iron Shell Beetle. Costs us 1 and a green for an insect that has a 1/1 body. And when it enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter on a target creature. Make our Beetle a little bit bigger and we can have a little bit more ramp with that guy. Arbored Armaments. Costs us 1 green for an instant. Put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature. That creature gains reach until end of turn. Can't tell that +1/+1s are counters is a big thing with this, huh? And then we have a Primeval. Then we have a Primeval. It costs us 2 and a green for a cat. Has a 2/1 body. When it enters the battlefield, we put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature that you control. Each creature with a +1/+1 counter has trample. Kind of a mini little lord to give trample to everything. Hunter's Edge costs us 3 and a green. Put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control. Then that creature deals damage equal to its power to a target creature you don't control. Good old fight mechanic. Green's removal. Oh snap, that's something weird. We weren't supposed to get red, it's supposed to be all green. Heartfire Emulator costs us 1 and a red. For a human wizard has prowess. That means whenever we cast a spell, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Pay a red, sacrifice Heartfire Emulator. It deals damage equal to its power to a target creature or planeswalker. Has a 2/2 body. Holy smokes, shenanigans! We have a Thriving Grove. It's a land that comes into play tapped. As it comes in, we get to choose another color other than green. I guess right now we should be choosing red since we have that card in there. So it has the ability to tap for a green or 1 mana of whatever color that we chose. Truffle Snout costs us 2 and a green for a boar. When it enters the battlefield, we get to choose one. Put a +1/+1 counter on it, or we gain 4 life. Has a 2/2 body. Nessian Horn Beetle costs us 1 and a green for an insect that's a 2/2 body. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control another creature with a power of 4 or greater, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And the Beetle, that is. Wildwood Scourge costs X and green. It's a Hydra that starts off with a 0/0. So whatever we put in for X is going to end up making a whatever power and toughness it has. When it enters the battlefield, it enters with X amount of +1/+1 counters. Hint the little X right there. Whenever one or more +1/+1 counters is put on another non-Hydra creature you control, put a +1/+1 counter on this little guy. That hopefully becomes a big little guy. Invigorating Surge costs 2 and a green for an instant. Put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control. Then double the number of +1/+1 counters on that creature. Holy smokes. Doubling the counters is always good. And our final card is Primeval Bounty. Costs 5 and a green for an enchantment. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 3/3 green beast creature token. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put 3 +1/+1 counters on a target creature you control. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 3 life. Alright, that wasn't too bad. +1 brought it over some shenanigans. So most of the time with Jumpstart it's normally one color, but I think we caught an oddity with this little red guy being in that pack. Little shenanigans goes a long way. So that's pack 1. So we know we're in green, or Gruul, I guess? Question mark. Let's see what we open up with the second pack. So the +1 counters is coming out with Above the Clouds. So the +1 counters is coming out with Above the Clouds. Mono blue, or what should be mono blue at this level. Whew. So we'll start off with always that everyone likes to see is the lands. That's the special land that comes out with it. There are 8 lands in this pack. And then we have a Lofty Denial that costs 1 and a blue for an instant. Counter a target spell unless its controller pays 1. If you control a creature with flying, counter that spell unless its controller pays 4 instead. And then we got a Thriving Isle. Enters the battlefield tap. And then as it enters the battlefield, we have to choose a color other than blue. It'll be able to tap, add a blue, or it can add that chosen color. We have a Wall of the Ruins, or Wall of Ruins, costs 1 blue for a 0/4 wall. Has Defender, that means it can't attack. And when it enters the battlefield, scry 1. That means we get to look at the top card of our library. If we want to keep it, we can keep it on top, or we can put it on the bottom. Frost Breath costs 2 and a blue for an instant. Tap 2 target creatures. Those creatures don't untap during the controller's next untap step. Man, freezing them in place. It's a roaming ghost light. Costs 3 and 2 blue for a spirit. Has a 3/2 body. Has flying. And when it enters the battlefield, return up to 1 target non-spirit creature card to its owner's hand. Capture Sphere costs 3 and a blue for an enchantment. Has flash, that means we can play it at any time. It's an enchanted creature. When it enters the battlefield, tap an enchanted creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. It looks like we got a King Guildmaster. Costs 1 and a blue for a human soldier. That's a 2/1 body. Also has an activated ability of a 2 and a blue. Target creature gains flying until end of turn. So an activated ability, you can end up using that right off the get-go. If it has to tap, then we couldn't use it. But since it's just an activated ability, we can end up doing that. Tide Skimmer costs 3 and a blue for a Drake, who has a 2/3 body, has flying, and whenever you attack with 2 or more creatures with flying, draw a card. Warden of Eel's Isle. Costs 2 and a blue for Bird Wizard. It's a 2/2 body. Flying. Creature spells with flying. You cast costs 1 less to cost. Assassinate costs 1 and a blue. It's an instant. Return a target creature or spell to its owner's hand. Windreader Sphinx costs 5 and 2 blue for a Sphinx. Flying. Whenever a creature with flying attacks, you may draw a card. Some good old draw feel. We like that. It is said to be the best thing in Magic. In a Rain of Revelation, costs 3, a blue, and an instant. Draw 3 cards, and then discard a card. Woohoo! Serum Ephraim costs 2 and a blue for an Ephraim. It's a 3/4 body, flying, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, it deals 1 damage to you. So this is something that's a little bit on the head of the curve because it costs 3 for a 3/4 that has flying. So they normally have to have a drawback. That drawback is that it does 1 damage to you. So I guess we're going to be a Simic deck, technically. I think that 1 red card was just tossed out of there in a randomness. Don't normally end up getting that. So let's just say we're in Simic. That's what we're going to be rocking. We have our flyers, which is kind of nice. And we'll put a little bit of counters on them. Sounds like you plan to be able to win the game. What do you guys think? Is there anything that you're excited about with Jumpstart? Any big cards like a Cradle Hoof, Allosaurus Rider, Exquisite Blood, Ristic Study? Whatever your flavor is, let us know down in the comments down below. If you're liking the content that we're putting out, like, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon to be notified about any of our future content. We open up packs, we do deck techs, we do a bunch of random things you never know. Also, don't be afraid to be able to share the channel. We'd like to end up growing. Our first goal is trying to get up to 50 subscribers so we can end up having a direct line to our channel. Thank you for watching, and until next time, we'll see you later.